What's up, bro?
Chilling, brother. Good to see you.
Likewise, man. Thanks for coming by.
Oh man, my pleasure, bro.
What's good?
Chilling, man. We just been working on some new music lately. We were touring for uh, most of the year up until I'm gonna say October, and starting from the year before to now. We were on and off the road doing a bunch of tours, and the last one I think we did was with Atmosphere, and I think it was Farside and Lupe Fiasco.
Sick.
And while we were on that trip, we got an offer to do a Spanish album. So we were like, we had been promising our fans for a long time another Spanish album. As you know, the first one was like a recreation of our pre-existing songs,
Right.
and so
Translation.
yeah, there were translations. So we were like, yeah, we've been promising people something. But we got to take time off to do it. So we
Right.
said that after our last show, that was probably in November, that we would take October, November, December, and however long it would take to put this new album together of all new tracks, all original tracks. So that's what we've been doing for the last 3.5 weeks.
That's
We
dope.
got another week to go to finish, to touch up a couple little things here and there, and then be done. And I think probably release maybe in March or April, May, somewhere around that time. We're excited though, because
Me too. As a Spanish speaking guy, like when I was younger and the translation came out, because back then my English wasn't like it's right now. So you will hear and you will understand parts of the music,
yeah,
but once you get to like the full Spanish version, you go like, wow. And I think like 2 years ago, I stopped by Mog's studio and
yeah,
he gave me like a bunch of CDs. And one of those CDs I have it in the Impala right now, and
yeah.
it's a full Spanish version. So a few months ago, some of my friends from Ecuador were here in town, and that CD was on. It was like fucking when we were like younger, 15, 16 years old, just fucking bumping that shit, and it's pretty sick. So now, all new tracks, just brand new Spanish.
All new tracks, all Spanish. We didn't do any of the Spanglish style on it. It's like all Spanish, and because when we started doing shows in Central America and South America and in Spain with those particular songs. We didn't play a lot of them, but we played like, maybe two or three of the main Spanish translations. And we seen, most especially with Yo Quiero Fumar,
That's the one.
I mean, we would see people just singing the songs, like I could see them singing it, and then if we took the mic away, they're singing all the lyrics. So
And it's that song is so catchy, and you can just once you start playing the beat, like it's like going
yeah,
years ago, you can just sing it along the whole way.
yeah,
It's one of those that it catches you like so easy, because I can remember it, like because it's not my my profession. Like I got friends that they can sing a full song. I can. That specific one, when the beat is on, you just go with that one.
and that's the crazy thing, is that we didn't know it was going to have that kind of impact. We knew we had Latino fans because we were Latino and we did the Spanglish style, on our first record, and Send Dog busted Tres X on the first album. So we knew we had people, but we didn't know how deep it was until we got into some of the Spanish speaking countries, and seeing the love that they had for it. They were singing the English songs with us too, but when the Spanish shit came, it was like a whole different energy because,
Right.
they I guess appreciated the fact that we flipped the songs and made them in a way that they could understand it. They may love the way it sounds in English, hard to understand maybe, but in Spanish, they know that shit.
And they feel connected to.
Yeah.
Now they can be part of that also, like because there's people that speaks no English,
No English,
and they
yeah.
will still listen Cypress Hill, but now when you translate that, they go, oh, I'm part of this shit now
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and it was crazy because when we went and filmed Killer Man in Mexico, in Mexico City, right? It was crazy when people found out we were there because no one knew we were going to go film this video um, to no entiendes la onda, which is kill a man in Spanish, right? No one, we didn't announce it. We just showed up in parts of the city and started filming, and everybody started recognizing it. All of a sudden, boom, there's a bunch of kids and Cypress Hill fans that came out of nowhere, and that became a part of the video. And we knew we had something with that because nobody else was doing it yet. There was maybe Control Machete out there doing things, but in terms of on our side of it, doing a Spanish version, it was like one of the first hip hop albums in Spanish like that. So there wasn't a lot to go by, like to reference, like
Right.
what are they doing over here? What are they doing over here? We had to kind of make it up as we went along. So doing the translation shit seemed like the easier thing to do, right? And but seeing the success that we had with it, we were like,
Crazy.
okay, well, we got to do an original one. And this is that had been the idea for so many years, but because we tour a lot, and we're constantly on the go, you have to find the pockets of time to be able to do this kind of work. And for years, like, oh, well, we got to do this project first. And then after that project, we're probably going on the road. Then the next project comes, oh, well, we have an idea for this. Let's try this. And meanwhile, the idea we had just keeps getting pushed to the back.
Because there's so much going on.
Because there's so much going on. And then finally, when we had this small pocket of time that we were going to be off, hey, what if we did the Spanish album? Finally. Well, we're going to do it. We need to cut everything off for right now and just focus on the studio. So that's what we did. I made sure that, hey, we blocked this time out. We're not doing nothing but
Spanish.
getting this done finally, And I think people are going to be surprised because, I mean, we know that since we did it to begin with way back, the styles were different in delivery, even the vocabulary, you know what I mean? And even the style of beats, they were all very different then. And we were doing translations of our thing. And I'm a student. I like to hear what other people are doing so I know where I got to be. So, for a while I was studying a lot of the Spanish rappers and what they were doing and stuff like that and what they weren't doing. And then I said, okay, I'm going to try to apply my styles that I have in my skill set to the Spanish language, try to figure out how do I, because the way you say something in English is in reverse in Spanish sometimes. And
yeah, and even the translation from English to Spanish, even if you translate, like let's see on a translator, that's not the way the Spanish people will say it.
Yeah, it's not always the same.
But that's kind of like that kind of translation in the album that you guys translate. Some words were like fully translated, let's see, from a phone or computer. But that also make it unique because I don't say it like that. But you sing it along, you go like, it's music, it's rap. You can say it like any way you wanna project it. But this time you guys are going like more with the full Spanish slang.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
sick.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of us that grew up here in LA that are from Hispanic or Latino background, because there's always a debate if you're Latino or Hispanic. So we'll just say both.
Isn't the same shit?
Right? So a lot of us that were born here, but our parents were born, let's say if you're of Mexican descent, you're Chicano, right? But your parents are actually from Mexico. We're born here, we're pochos to them. We're not considered like Mexican like they are. No, you were born in the United States, you're pocho. You know what I mean? There's a difference.
Right.
And even in our Spanish, because, a lot of us, like, because we grow up speaking English and Spanish or, the mixture of both, some of us never learned the proper Spanish. And it's a lot of slang that we make up here on the street and shit. So it's never perfect on our end down here. You know what I mean? So I try to keep that in mind when I'm writing it. Like, I got to make it more generalized Spanish that, like, in Spain, they'll know what I'm saying. In Costa Rica or Ecuador, they'll know what I'm saying. In Cuba, they'll know what I'm saying, and this, that. Because if you lean on just our slang here, some people might not understand what the fuck that word
That's
is.
true. That will be direct to one small community instead of like everybody.
Right. So like for instance, right, in Colombia, a joint, they might call it a ramo, right? And in Mexico and other places they might call it a porro. Where out here in Southern California and maybe even up north, they might call it a leño.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there's all these different ways to say it.
Bate.
And bate. What I fucking tell you, Pedro?
Baseball, a bate.
Yeah, a bate. You know what I'm saying? So like you got it. Like so, I tried to do a little bit of all of them, and generalize the rest so that it's more understandable, like in less slangish. I mean, there is slang in it for sure, but like I tried to get more proper on it and flex the styles. You'll see when you hear it because you're gonna hear it before
I
anybody.
can't wait to hear that shit because that I mean the translation one is crazy. Like you can like go a longer way because like I'm a full speaker Spanish person.
Yeah.
So when you listen to that, you go like, oh, everything makes sense. So this new one, how many songs you got in there?
You know, originally we were just gonna do 10, but as we were doing them, you know, we were like, oh shit, we're getting a momentum, we're getting a rhythm locked in here, and it started feeling good, like the vibes and the creativity flowing. So, you know, we got to 12, and we were like, well, let's do a couple more. So we ended up doing 17 songs in total, but we're gonna put out the best 12, and then the other leftover songs, we're gonna put them out.
Singles?
Yeah, different places, maybe B-sides, or you never know if it shows up in a movie or something like that. But we made enough songs to do like an album and an EP. So if we wanted to do an EP after, you know, sometime, you know, which is like between 4 and 6 songs, we have those songs to complete that. So we did a lot of work, you know, and it was more work than we thought we were going to do because, you know, we had an intention of like, let's get the best 10 songs because sometimes these albums are too fucking long, you know what I mean? But today, you know, if you do the right amount of songs and those songs aren't too long, people like that because they like it going like this and on to the next and catchy shit. So we tried to do that, you know, but be us at the same time and focus on delivering something different. Like it's like what they heard on our first Spanish album is going to be way different in style and form than what they hear on this shit. And
I'm bummed about that.
And on the first one, I wasn't very comfortable with writing in Spanish yet. I only wrote maybe two of the songs on the original one, on Grandes Éxitos. I think it was one of the two. I think it was two of the new songs, and Sick Jack, and salute to Sick Jack, and Mellow Mayonnaise, Sen Dog's brother, wrote most of the other stuff. So I had to like, you know, memorize their writing and like deliver it. They were translating my styles into Spanish, right? And there was a couple times where it was different than the style I had in English,
Right.
which was cool. You know, it made it something different. But I thought in coming to this new shit, I have to write it. I have to write it.
So it comes out of Europe.
Yeah, it has to come from me, and it has to be in the style and flow that I want because I can't give them anything to reference. You know what I mean? I can't say, hey, I want this to sound like this or that. Plus, you know, from that time to now, I had done other Spanish songs, other features, and I got more comfortable with writing and delivering it. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to be the one writing this. And I think people are going to be surprised.
I mean, it's. I feel what you say because if someone else translates for you, they can write what they can sing. But then when you read it and you memorize it, that's like memorizing a paper for another person. But when you do your own one, it's gonna go like more. Yeah. Because you're gonna translate and write it the way you want to sound.
Exactly.
And you can picture that in your own ears.
Exactly. Like on the first one, it was like kind of easy because they were translating my words in some of the songs in the style of the songs. So it kind of made it easy. I'm like just different words in my same pockets, in my same cadence and phrases and stuff like that. So it wasn't that hard, but still having to memorize someone else's words and get them in your pocket, that's kind of, you know, it's work. And but then, I said if we're gonna do something original, I need it to be for me. I can't have someone else write it for me. I have to be the one to do it. It's for me to be comfortable with it now because I know what I'm capable of. If I have somebody else write it, I'll be like,
Different
well, I
sound.
was being lazy. I let somebody else do the fucking work.
And what a good time to drop a Spanish album.
Yeah.
It's almost like the perfect time for that shit.
Yeah. Like again, it was something that we had always planned, but we kept pushing it to the back, pushing it to the back. And finally, we're like, you know what? We can't push it to the back anymore. I mean, we got to do it right now while we have the opportunity and while we're motivated to do it. Because it's
True.
something, because it's work, it's not my first language, so delivering it is harder for me. You know what I mean? Like doing the recording of it. Once I get it, I could do it live and perform it. It's nothing, but recording it is the fucking hard part for me. And with Sendog, it's easier for him because, I mean, he grew up in he didn't grow up in Cuba, but he was born in Cuba. And so Spanish is the first language for him in mellow. So it's easier for it to come to Sendog. Even if you write it for him, he could get it locked fast. For me, it takes a little bit of work.
No, that makes sense because languages are not easy.
No.
And making music already is hard. Now, doing it in another language, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, even when in your first language, sometimes it's hard depending on how you structure the song.
True.
So, but I like a challenge. I've always liked to challenge myself in different ways. So I was like, let's go,
And this is full Cypress, or you guys have few feature on it too?
No, we have some features on it too. Yeah.
Can you talk about it?
We didn't plan to get any features, you know what I'm saying? But it just sort of kind of worked out that way. Like, so some of the ones I could tell you are Sick Jackin' from Psycho Realm. He's, and like the primary thing that they started with was hip hop in English, but he's a Chicano from here, from Pico Union district, and he grew up speaking Spanish, and when he flipped into the Spanish part of hip hop, he's fucking one of the best at it. Underground legend. So we got Sick Jackin' on a couple of them. We got these guys from the Yodis, Blanco and Guapo. They're from here in Los Angeles and Hawthorne, and they're Chicanos as well, flexing some dope Spanish styles. I mean, because I wanted people to see, outside of California, the talent that we have in this lane, in the kicking it in Spanish shit, the hip hop,
Right.
the artists that are here and their talent levels. But, we also collaborated with my man Yusak from Santa Grifa and Aleman.
Aleman is good.
Yeah, that's my boy right there. You know what I'm saying? When people hear that one, they're gonna be fucking surprised. Or not surprised. They're just gonna be like, "Damn, that's
They'll
hard."
be bumping that shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're pretty proud of the work. We're like very excited from what we have so far.
I'm excited, but that project's gonna be sick. It's gonna pop up the culture. People's gonna be excited.
Yeah, and it's not. And it's not what anybody else is doing right now. That was the one thing, because when you talk about what Latinos are doing in terms of rap right now, you don't hear about like the hip hop culture. It's more like reggaeton based.
Yeah, which I'm like super away from that.
Yeah,
I mean, I respect the
it
hustle
too, yeah.
and what they're doing, but I just like my wife listens to that shit. I don't.
Yeah, because it's reggaeton is dope because like the girls get to dance to that shit. It's the dance thing, right? And
which is good.
Which is good. I don't mind that. There's a lot of reggaeton I love, and there's like some reggaeton I fucking absolutely hate. But,
yeah, I'm with you there.
But that's with all music, right? But what we tried to do, because that would be the easy thing for us to do in terms of coming in and doing Latino style music.
In that lane.
Yeah, but we didn't want to do that. That's not what our mission was. Our mission was to do hip hop music in Spanish, as opposed to like, okay, well, let's borrow this, let's borrow that, let's borrow that. Because, I mean,
that makes sense.
Because, that would have been too easy. There are a couple of songs that like we did specific, to have a certain sound, but mostly it's hip hop based. And the way that we flipped it, people aren't going to expect, I think. Because I think that the natural thing is to think, oh, Cypress Hill is going to come in and do reggaeton.
Right.
But that,
No, not
that
that.
ain't it. Hell no.
It's like real hip hop.
If I wanted to do reggaeton, I would do it by myself because I know Sendog fucking don't like the reggaeton at all. Yeah, the hardcore shit maybe, but like the same beat,
Yeah.
he fucking hates it.
Yeah, you would probably go like more OG like Tego.
Yeah, like Tego, you know what I'm saying? Salute to Tego, that's my bro right there.
Like, but no, I feel like it's just like that. Boom, punching, punch. It's just, yeah, and I mean, it's the same shit saying.
Yeah, I mean it's basically like a dance hall beat, right? That they used to use in dance hall. And, you know, dance hall beats, they just reprogram that beat and put different music
Sound
over
on
it,
it.
but it's do ka tu ka tu ka tu ka tu ka tu ka tu.
Just
And-
ass moving left and right. Boom,
And that's reggaeton. I mean, there, you know, some guys have like changed up the beat pattern here and there and done some interesting things. But even with dancehall, you know, that pattern was like prevalent. You know, it was you always heard that in a dancehall beat, and it gets tiresome when you hear a same pattern all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what happened with reggaeton a little bit. But there are some artists doing some creative shit and sounding really dope
Yeah, that's
with
for
the
sure.
reggaeton. It's just, you know, it's whatever you like and whatever you don't like.
Yeah, it's a direction that you want to take, right?
Yeah.
There's like there's a freedom for all of that shit on really whatever you want to do. But I mean, music is good these days.
Yeah, music is good. Like my thing is like if we did this thing in hip hop, if another
You
pro-
wanna-
if another producer wants to like, you know, remix the song and put some reggaeton flavor on it, hey, by all means you could go ahead and do that. But like our primary original recording isn't going to be based off of that because we know that that's what all these other artists do. You know what I mean? They lean on the reggaeton sound. But you know, what's cool is that you do hear a lot of hip hop out there, and they're being creative with their style of hip hop. Like Santa Fe Clan, for instance, right? You know, you'll hear him and he'll do some banda shit on his,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Mix
they'll
it
start
up.
playing the accordion and rapping with that shit. It's like, you know, that's the dope shit to me because he's putting in something different and making it his. You know what I'm saying?
And like a lot of rappers also are being bringing back using a full on band. You guys
Yeah.
did that in London, right?
Yeah, we did that in London.
With
yeah.
is it like the big symphony one?
Yeah, that was with the orchestra, but we've been, you know, like playing other shows with the full band too. You know what I mean? Bringing back the instruments to rock with because it's such a bigger sound. You know?
It's a vibe.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
like I listen to a lot of like salsa, and most salsa singers they have like, you know, it's
It's all
20, 30
20,
instruments.
30 instruments. Yeah,
And like when you like listen that live, it's a different animal. When it's like
yeah.
guitar, bass, drums, and for the one that goes like
yeah.
like it's like
All those little things.
it's jazz. It's jazz with singing on top. With that's like it's sick.
Yeah, to me, it gives a whole different life, right? So with hip hop, when you're using just the DJ, it's 2 tracks. It's the 2 tracks that the DJ has that's going through, and they could turn that sound up, but they can't turn the sounds in those 2 tracks up. So, for instance, right, when you're hearing a DJ rock a track from the turntables, it's all those instruments mashed up into those 2 tracks. There's no way to like individualize any of the sounds on the track. So if I want to turn the bass up or down, I can't turn that down. If I want to turn the hi-hat up or down, I could tweak the overall sound, but I can't get to any individual sound, right? But with the band, everything is coming through on its own channel. So if I want the hi-hats up, I could put them up. If I want the hi-hats down, I could bring them down. And I could control each and every other instrument and the sound that it's amplifying, right? On the turntables, it's those 2 tracks. So like you could make the sound on stage and even out in the crowd much bigger with the band than you can with just using the turntables.
Like 2 of those.
Yeah. You could get the turntables bumping, but in terms of the sound that a band creates on stage, there's nothing like that.
Yeah, it's a different energy when you got a full on band. Those when you guys went up there and it was like the full like thing. It looks crazy. Like just from an IG video, I can't even imagine what it was live.
Oh yeah, because I mean, we did most of our career using just turntables and every now and then, drums, bass, guitar, and all that. But to have the full orchestra back there and listening to that come, to the front with us, man, that shit was, it was ridiculous because I mean, that's not something we ever thought of when we were starting.
Right.
As a hip hop group, you're thinking you're just going to be doing hip hop. You don't think that 20 years down the line you're going to be with the orchestra.
I
And
mean,
shit,
and how strong it's been through all the years because it's not like in all these years have never like go out and come back. Like you guys have figured it out way to like stay
Yeah,
staying in the same going up, and that's like from the outside is very like admirable to be like wow, like the longevity of the group has been amazing to watch.
thank you, sir. We kind of studied what Grateful Dead did, right? The Grateful Dead, and we weren't necessarily huge fans of their music, but what we noticed was their style of that they could tour at any time and do a show at any time with or without a record. And for many years, they toured without any new records yet. They kept selling out their shows, and they had like a true cult following.
Right.
And we looked at that and we said, that's what we need to do. We need to build a following that will follow us with new music or not. Just they fuck with the culture of who and what we are and what we do and how we do things and stuff like that. And we noticed, that like out of most groups that existed, they were those guys, the Grateful Dead. And they didn't have music, nothing like ours. I mean, it was like rock, jazz, fusion, some crazy shit. They have their big songs for sure. But again, it wasn't necessarily the music that we liked, but we liked the way that they presented their whole thing. And we took notice to their fans being so engaged with or without a record. And we were like, okay, well, we got to study that. And this is what we got to be, but in our own way. So we figured out how to navigate a career with having big records and not having big records and having no records out, but still out there in front of people and winning people over and keeping people, close to us. Like, feeding your fan base. Right. You may not be giving them new albums, but you're out there and you're entertaining them and reminding them always, this is why I love these guys, So we figured out it's about the work you put in. You have to have good material, but you also got to be willing to go work it, because people appreciate the fact that you'll go out there, get out there in front of them and rock this shit the way that it sounds on an album or whatever, and give them that feeling. So, we concentrated on giving a really good live show. And that right there helped us to keep fans with us, whether we were putting records out or not.
Yeah, because putting on a good concert, that experience of that night being like just like all night like that,
Yeah,
will make you go keep listening.
Yeah.
And keep listening. And then when you announce the new dates, you go, people are like, we gotta fucking, because people, that makes sense what you say, because people get like lazy and probably they're like, okay, we get to some level, we don't need to tour anymore.
right.
But is touring what make the longevity goes bigger and better?
I think it's a part of it. Yeah, you're consistently out there, because if you're not a group that's on the radio, people will forget about you if you're not out there doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if you take too long, there's so many groups that come out every month doing the music that you do. So the more time you take, the more you get pushed to the back, because people want shit right now. You know what I mean? So if you're not going to do that, you better keep in front of them in some way or another, right? So like for us, it's like doing the right shows, not just doing any shows, doing good quality shows where you know that people are going to come and they're going to catch this experience, right? um, because you don't want to just do any shows. If you start doing just any shows and the quality ain't there, people are like, that last show was, I don't know about that. I'll wait till they come next time because that last one, I don't know. Because you got to make an impression, right? So it's about giving them an experience that they'll remember and be like, oh, the next time I'm gonna bring so and so and so and so, they got to see this, because that's
Right.
how it is, right? Like you go see something, and if your certain friends weren't with you, oh man, you missed it.
Yeah.
You should have came with us last night. They did X, Y, and Z, right? And then that makes sure that those two or three homies that didn't come last time, they're
They
going
come.
next time.
And that's a chain of
It's yes.
pulling more people. And I mean, yeah, you gotta perform.
Yeah.
That's the night you gotta, like, the whole group gotta just go
Yes.
crazy and figure out how to do it better.
Yes, you gotta be better each time and be interesting each time, and make them want to come back each time. You know what I mean? And we figured that out for us in just, it's like training, right? The more you train, the better you get
True.
at what you do. The more hours you put in, the better you're getting at mastering what you're doing. You never truly fully master it, but you get fucking good
You get better all the time.
by the repetition, right? And if you never stop, you just continue to get better. And
That's
so
the key.
that's the other thing. It's like, we got to keep being out there. We got to keep performing. We cannot just take too long off, because it's like it's just like sports. You have to constantly be training to be the best, or to try and be the best,
Right.
or to perform at the highest level that you can, right? And when you're performing on a festival and there's like 20 other bands, you're competing with those bands.
That's like a fight night.
Yes, on who are they going to remember the most. And when the promoter hears like who they remembered the most, guess what? They're coming back. And they're probably getting paid more money the next time, and they're probably going to get a better slot.
That's how
It's
you get
just-
to headline.
Yeah, it's just like a fight game. You know what I mean? You make your impression, right? Get fight of the night, and then you might get a better time slot on your next fight and a better fight. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Exactly the same.
And it's the same thing, like so you want to keep consistently doing this to get better at it, so that you're constantly in demand. And that's the key, to stay in demand. So, the minute you get too lazy, complacent, and you're like just dialing it in, people see that and they're like, you know what?
They forget.
Yeah.
You gotta stay up there. You gotta stay out there. What country was that festival that you guys went that it was like thousands of people? Like I
It
have
was
seen
Hellfest. I think it was Hellfest, the one you're talking about, where we played Jump Around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Hellfest.
That was like, what was the feeling of like of that?
That was crazy, because that's the second time we had done, I've done Hellfest twice, once with Cypress Hill and once with Prophets of Rage. And I did the same thing with Prophets of Rage, that they, I thought we're going to play a House of Pain song right here, because we're going to do something different. And then, I mean, when we did it with Prophets of Rage, it did the same thing as you seen what we did with Cypress Hill. Like the whole of the crowd was just up and down, because it's a very notable song. So I said, fuck it, we're going to do it again, but with Cypress Hill this time. And it'll make more sense because it's a hip hop song with Cypress Hill, as opposed to Prophets of Rage being like more rock and metal
Aggressive.
heavy. Yeah, aggressive. And so when I popped it off with Cypress, in tribute to my brother Everlast and the House of Pain, because we're connected to them through our Soul Assassins family line, it was a bigger deal. They made a bigger they talked about it more, and it went viral. Because it was the same effect for Prophets of Rage, but they didn't talk about it. They were more talking about the Rage Against the Machine songs and what we were doing, making the crowd move with those songs. But with Cypress, because it's so interconnected to Cypress Hill and House of Pain, we were so close, and Everlast is one of my best friends and all that, it connected in a different way. So people decided to talk about it
Right.
more, you know, but it's something we've been doing for a while to tribute House of Pain. But I knew in that moment because we weren't even going to play it. It wasn't on our set list. You know what I mean? Because we had a very aggressive set list that was more rock based at the end. Like, because we brought the instruments to Hellfest. And I said, fuck it. Hey, guys, audible. You know, that's when we're going to play a song that's not on the set list, I'll fucking say audible so that the guy out front knows and these guys know. And then I'll look back and tell him the song. And so when I looked back and told him the song, we didn't have a lot of time left. I did it really fast. And I looked back, I said, jump around. So then I go into the thing and I, you know, do the exercise bit, which means everybody that's standing up, I make them go into a squat position. And I make them stay in the squat until they hear the sound of da, 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 boo. They jump on that. So it's crazy to see like 100,000 or whatever, you know, amount of people that was at Hellfest. Can't remember what the number was, but to see them all squat down and then just pop like you know, like you shook a bottle of fucking soda or something and you popped the top and it just, that's what that crowd was like.
That's a powerful feeling. You just been like to get the beat going and just go. Yeah, I haven't seen those videos on YouTube or they pop once in a while and again. You go like, holy shit, those festivals were gnarly.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you know, we still play those festivals. I mean, that festival was just about a year and a half to 2 years ago. So we're still very active on those festival scenes. And then, you know, we still tour the States and Europe and you know, South America, Central America. We get around still, you know. And that's that was the key for us to the longevity is just, you know, stay out there even when we don't have records. Because you might not get a hit every time, but if you stay in front of the people that have become your fans throughout the years and have been there since day one, they'll keep coming.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
especially if you're putting on the time and energy just to like perform good. Like,
yeah,
you know, you can show that through the energy, through like how much you want to be there is how much they're gonna be there.
Right. That is a great point. Like, because you'll see artists come through and they're just walking around and they don't have no energy. They're performing the song, but it looks like they're just going through the motion as opposed to having fun, being there and connecting with the crowd. And I try to do that shit. I mean, I train to do what we do. You know what I mean? I've always trained in some form, right? Whether it was a little bit of boxing, a lot of martial arts, you know, just gym workouts and shit like this. You know, I was always active. Our squad, you know, we played a lot of basketball as kids and sometimes football. I mean, we were always doing something. So
uncompetitive stuff that will get you out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And doing hard shit will make your normal stuff just
right,
the usual.
So as I got older in this rap shit, realizing that, you know, we do a lot of up-tempo songs. You know what I mean? So if you're jumping rope to one of our faster songs, you're going to be jumping fast if you're jumping in rhythm. To our slower songs, it might be a slower pace, but we perform a lot of the high-paced songs. Oh, it's like a roller coaster ride. So your cardio's got to be fucking together.
True.
So that you could deliver these songs on beat and not be like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
And so, like, I tried to train like a motherfucker, you know. I try to train like an athlete to be able to deliver on stage like that, to be physically ready and for my lungs to be ready and for me to be able to move so that I could have a good time too and it not be like I'm fucking straining and suffering to do this shit.
That makes sense. I mean, and the better shape you are, the better everything performance everywhere in life, like when you're doing your work, which is playing music or anything, the stronger, the sharper.
Yeah.
And this will get better too.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I feel like. It also definitely helps for the stimulation of the fucking brain cells and the you know, the creativity. Like, if you got a fit body, you could have your mind could be fit too, because it takes discipline to stay in doing that shit. Like, you could talk yourself out of working out every time.
Anytime.
Right? My theory was I got to talk myself into it. What are the reasons I'm doing this for? And remembering that shit. Like my health. I want to be around for my daughter and my son and my granddaughters, right? And I want to be able to perform at the highest level.
You stay in shape. I mean,
yeah.
What kind of stuff you do today in terms of training?
I don't lift heavy weights like I used to, because that shit doesn't do me any good for what we do. Too much muscle.
Right.
It's just like being fat, kind of. You just look better.
Too stiff, yeah, that's true.
So I try to do a lot of cardio type of shit, like a lot of jump rope, a lot of running, light weights, but a lot of reps and stuff. And
that makes sense.
And then switching up the workouts. And every now and then I'll do some of my old school Shotokan workouts. When I was training Shotokan and stuff like that, I'll go hit the heavy bag and stuff like that, and I'll just mix it up, like do core training as well, and circuit, a little bit of everything, just so that my more than anything, my cardio and my legs are good. You know what I mean?
Keep pumping the blood. That makes sense.
I try not to go too heavy anymore, because I know I could get big if I go heavy, but that's not the goal. The goal is to stay lean and to be able to move on stage and not,
Right, if you're just stiff, it's going to be hard to move.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to, like, put on a crazy pace jump, like on a jump around type of bit.
Yeah.
You want to pull a shoulder doing this shit.
If I was just going to be a standstill rapper, then I'd be like, raw, fucking. But I can't do that. I feel like I'm cheating people if I'm just standing there. I got to be moving around.
Yeah, most of the artists, when they're, like, engaged and they just fucking go crazy, crowd goes crazy too.
Yeah. I mean, if they see you're having a good time, they're going to have a good time. If they see you're just going through the motions, they're just going to be like, okay, when is he done?
Exactly. That's true. That's very true. It's a good thing to be able to, like, connect mentally like that and be like, okay, how I can just do it better.
Yeah.
And the best energy, the best they will get out of you too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's for us, we look at it like the way you guys do. Like, if you got a fight coming up, you're gonna study the fighter, what his tendencies are, where his weaknesses are and all that shit. And then you might look at one of your fights and see, okay, what I'm doing right here, what I need to focus on. I need to change this and adjust this. So we do the same thing when we're looking at our shows or listening back to the shows. Like, oh, that shit sounded cool. Ooh, that shit wasn't so cool. We should wipe that. And we're constantly analyzing on how to make it better, and how to make it more interesting and entertaining. Giving everybody a different experience, because with the phones, everybody comes and they film it and then they put it up on their fucking Instagram or TikTok or whatever platform. And if they got a decent enough fan base, a lot of people are seeing what you're doing at these shows. And if it's like, let's just say 20% of the crowd is getting that's 20% of the crowd, and then whoever follows them that decides to share it out. So it's a lot of exposure of what you do.
True.
So we have to sort of, like, knowing that if we're not going to bag their phones like comedians, well, if you come to a certain comedians shows, they'll make you give up the phone at the door. You bag the phone and you take it out of the bag after the show. That way, no one's doing none of this, distracting the show, and more importantly, they're protecting their material, because if their material gets out there, like any of the jokes, then the next time, the next city they go to, if someone already might know the joke, the punchline to the joke, because someone posted it and these people saw it. So it's predictable at that point.
That's true.
So, if you're not going to pull the phones, you have to figure out how to make it different each night for a different crowd, so that they're not all posting the same shit.
True. When you guys, like, as a group practice or rehearsal, like, is that looks any different from the actual show, or you guys kind of like do something else?
It's a little bit different than the actual show because on the rehearsals we're more practicing for the decisive delivery, like all the points, being decisive on all the points. So we might not be going full out like we're performing in front of a crowd. We might be a little bit more held back because we're like making sure that all the musical points are there. Because once we get on stage, because we've done it so much, we know how to get to the points. It's as long as we're all locked in musically and we like the way everything is rolling out. Yeah, then we go full blown in front of the crowd. But like on rehearsals, most of the time, at least for me and Sen, it's like we're reserved on, not delivering all the way as if the crowd was out there. Because I feel like you have to save that energy instead of like attacking it right then and there, because then you got to get back to that, and that's hard. That's like saying, okay, you're gonna have this fight right now, but after that fight, you got another fight after that. Like the way they used to do the shit.
Right.
How exhausting was that?
The 6-man or 8-man tournament was crazy because you win the first one, you got 2 more.
Yeah, and then you got to get back to that feeling.
Yeah, no,
that's hard.
That was heavy actually. Like the people that did that and fought 3-4 times in one night.
That's tough.
That's another, because in the first fight you can beat the shit of each other.
Yeah.
One guy's gonna win. And then he gotta go again.
He's gonna be tired. They're both gonna be tired. One's gonna be beat up tired. And the other one's gonna be the guy who beat the guy up but tired.
And then in the other side, it could be like a 1-minute fight. You caught the guy in a choke. You didn't suffer. You didn't get pain. So now the third fight is like you're like, fuck, my opponent was easy. I mean, but still, like Japan used to do that a lot, and those were like, I mean, in one night. And it was almost like, I heard it was around like an hour, 45 minutes in between.
Yeah.
It wasn't like too much.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
But it's crazy to have to try to get back to that zone. Like when you're in that zone, you're in it in that moment.
Especially how tense and how nervous are you before one fight. You go through that, and then you got to go back to the locker room and put ice in your feet.
And then come back out.
When I was younger, I was like trying to do one of those GP back home in Ecuador. I get offered once to do it, but then fell through. It was 3 fights in one night, so the winner have to win 3 times, and it was like few guys from Brazil, from Peru, and I was begging the promotion, please let me do it, just because I thought it was a crazy achievement.
Yeah.
But then the event fell through, and I was like, I never get the chance to do one, but it would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a lot of output.
It's a lot of fucking punches to the head.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of punches to absorb, right, and a lot of output. Because if you're the guy winning fight 1, then 2, and then 3,
the final,
yeah, that's a lot.
That's heavy.
That is fucking heavy.
Especially if you get caught.
If
you have a cut, you're gonna be bleeding all day.
Yeah.
For a while.
What fights as of late have impressed you, like that you would say right now call fight of the year?
Right now, let me think.
Because I know that some people were acting surprised that Pierre Jan won, but that shouldn't be a surprise because that dude's a killer.
No, he's a fucking killer. He's extremely well rounded. He got beautiful hands, can kick, can wrestle. The other thing was like Merab was so dominant, but also too ballsy for his own good. I get it. You're a competitor. You want to break all the records. He was
doing too much.
You get burned out. Even if you mentally are not burned out, because he seems like he don't give a fuck, which is great.
Yeah.
But at some point, it will catch up to you.
It'll catch up.
Like
fatigue.
Yeah, you get tired of like jumping on another camp, because fighting is actually not too hard. If you got balls, you can fight any day.
It's the training for it.
It's training for it. Like when I'm in camp, we are sparring hard twice a week. I'm lifting weights. I'm sprinting twice a week. I'm wrestling or grappling at least 4 times a week. On top of that, I'm also running on the side because I love to running and because I need to lose weight. So think about it. You do that for 10 weeks. Then you get to the fight. Before the fight, you have to cut weight. You have to lose.
That's the really hard part.
That's what really kills your brain and your soul. Now you make weight, you recover and fight, and then do that 3 more times in 1 year.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's a lot to put through the body. To put the body through.
Especially if you're a guy that fights hard.
Yeah.
Like those guys fight. They're not like running around and trying to look cute. They're fighting.
They're fighting. Yeah.
Like at one point, I used to do that. I used to fight like 2, 3 times a year. But once you get to the top 10, to the top 5, you gotta pick and choose. You can.
Yeah. The fights get harder.
They get harder and harder, and that's why he looks so good up to now.
Up to that
he
point.
beat the shit of Jan the first time.
Yeah.
Take him down, control him. His eye was super fucked up. And back then, Jan was on a 3 losing streak.
Yeah.
He took some time off. He won 3 fights again. Boom. The 4th one, he won the title. And, that's the perfect way how you see life. It's a circle.
It's a circle,
one day you're on top. Because when Jan lost to Merab, it was his 3rd loss in a row.
Yeah.
And you know how people is. Oh, he's done.
Oh, he's done. Yeah.
And it's like he took some time. He beat Sonja Don. Then he beat Figueiredo, Marcus Magui, and boom, he won the title.
It was just like the other dude in one of the prelims where he retired, and then he came back and he dominated.
Jalen Turner?
Yeah.
The black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great fucking fighter.
Yeah. You know what I mean? He lost the fights before that.
Yeah, he lost like 3 or 4 fights, if I'm not wrong.
Just like you said, he took his little time off, said, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to give it one more shot.
He's a great guy.
And he came out there and was killing.
Beat the fuck out of the guy.
Beat the fuck out of him.
Sometimes you just have to take some time. You have to like see it from the outside, appreciate it, miss it, fall in love again.
Yeah.
Cry a little bit, whatever you gotta do, but eventually your body's gonna be like, yo, I can't get punched in the face every week.
That's the thing I love about UFC is that, or mixed martial arts in general, that, it's not like boxing in the sense that, like, if you got this really kick-ass record and you lose 3 fights, you're done in boxing. Like you fall to the bottom.
Because how the system is.
Yeah, and you got to climb all the way back up. And you might still be the shit, but the way that the culture of it is
you're dead.
Climb the fucking way back up because you're done, right? In mixed martial arts, it's not necessarily like that. It's like you said, someone can lose 3 fights, and the talk might be that they're over, but they could come back and have a hell of a fucking run.
Yeah.
And we've all seen it. I mean, growing up watching this shit and you being in the culture of it. I mean, this is shit you see, like guys that like maybe went away or they had a bad run for a minute and they took some time off, came back and were triumphant.
Kill everybody. Like that's the good thing about MMA. Like, yes, the record matters, but you still have an opportunity to climb back. Boxing, because of Floyd, they make it so you need to be 50-0 or you're not good in this game. Yeah. And now you see guys like Canelo, few losses, like Teofimo lost, like,
and they're great.
They're great, and it's okay. Like if you think about it, like in basketball or soccer, there's a guy that won the World Cup and they have lost 15, 30 matches before that in their lifetime. So it's like it doesn't really matter. It's just how it's seen from the outside.
Yeah.
Like in music, you're great at music. You throw an album. You need one hit.
One hit.
Not 15 songs killing it.
And that's impossible. But as long as you get the one.
But for us, it's like fight to fight. Like, oh, okay, you're done. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm good. It's just the way it's seen. At the beginning, we used to be even more like that, like boxing. Like, oh, you have to be undefeated. It's like, everybody fails at some point.
But I think there was guys who had records where they had over 2, 3, 4, 5 losses, come back and become dominant champions.
Yeah,
that was the cool thing to see in MMA, that they allowed someone to have that kind of comeback and show that like you're not washed up after those kind of fights. You know what I mean? It's not the same. You know,
Yeah, you can come back. I
You
mean,
can come
Anderson Silva got submitted in Pro FC, like when he was younger, and people thought back then, nah, he's just a striker. Came to the UFC, and how many years he was champion? Like he was champion for a long time. But Michael Bisping lose few fights, won the belt
yeah,
at the end.
he's perfect example.
Glover Teixeira won it at 42. Like,
Yeah. I mean, if you go to boxing, you look at what George Foreman did.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Where he retires, comes back at what, 38, 39, something like that. And comes back on a championship run, no less. And he was gone from boxing for like 15, 20 years. And he, you know, like, and the way that they depicted one of the last Rocky films was like pretty much they got that sort of training style. We're going to have to train you different now because you're older. So we're going to have to train you for strength and not speed because your speed is gone. And all the man strength shit right there, right? They got that, like that part of Rocky.
it's from him.
Is from George Foreman because that's how he had to train. He didn't have the speed anymore. He had to absorb the punches
And give them back.
and give them and punch with a lot of power.
And the good thing and the better thing about big guys, they do have more longevity than the little guys, because I'm probably not fat right now, but I'm still cutting 20, 23 pounds
Yeah.
to make 135. So the little guys, we have less life than the big guys.
Yeah, you guys got to work your body in different ways.
Because 20 pounds for a 200-pound dude, it's okay.
Yeah,
20 pounds for me, it's like
That's a lot.
You're close to death.
yeah. And
And
that's crazy that like the weigh-ins have to be like that.
Exactly. And then if let's say I said, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm good enough to go to 45. Those motherfuckers are like 170, 180.
Coming down to 140.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm good. Those fuckers are way too big.
That's the crazy shit is that, you know, like they got a better shot at a lower weight, so they'll cut that weight and they'll put themselves through that because it's harder in the division that they're in right now.
Exactly. I mean, the best thing, this will never happen, but the best thing will be if they weigh us on the cage with the little gloves, your shorts in the cup, and they say, you know, every 5 pounds, it's a weight class. I will fight at 155. I will eat good, normal food, and I'll be probably the best 155er ever. But if we're talking 155 today, those motherfuckers are like 200 pounds.
Yeah, they're
They
cutting
I'm
50
like-
fucking pounds.
I'm like, I'm good. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, there's some big dudes in those divisions.
Fucking Topuria is fucking a truck.
And
Charles Oliveira is like fucking 30 feet tall. I'm like, fuck you.
You think they'll have more health problems later on in life because of those weight cuts?
I mean, yes, but also if you have a clean lifestyle, if you're not drinking, if you're not partying, if you're not fucking smelling cocaine,
Right.
I think the chances are way better for you. But if you're cutting weight
And doing all the shit
and doing all the extracurricular nightlife,
that people
you're
do.
fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
And
Like,
some people do.
and there's crazy that some of them actually perform very fucking good.
Yeah.
I have seen dudes party for like 3 months and go and kick some ass. I'm like, fuck, I can barely fucking do a cheat meal without overthinking it. It's gonna be bad for me.
It's like one of those dudes that tells you, "Oh man, I do this or that better when I'm a little loaded." And it's a trip to see it that they're actually more coordinated when they're a little ripped.
I feel like they took the pressure away from it. Like if
Yeah.
you're drunk the whole month, you're like,
Fuck it.
and what happened when you're drunk? You get all fucking balls and wanna do this and that. I don't know. Maybe some of them can do it.
Yeah, I think alcohol definitely takes away the fear part for, you know, if you had anxieties about it or fears, it'll fucking take that.
They're gone.
And give you a different confidence. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they always say, you know, people get braver as they fucking drink more.
Yeah, that's for sure. Do you ever drink or back in the day before shows?
I did, you know, in the early days, I had a couple moments that made me stop. And what it was that we were one of the first times we were touring with Naughty by Nature, right? And they had the first, they had the number one song in the country in terms of hip hop with OPP at that time, right? And we were just our first single that was out right there was it was Funky Feel One. So they wanted us to go on tour and support them, and you know, so we went on and we were playing before them. One day, I think it was in Buffalo or somewhere upstate New York. I'm partying with them on their bus. You know, we were following them in two fucking minivans. You know, because we were new. You know, we didn't have money. We were still doing promo shows, like trying to win people over and stuff like that. But we were good friends with them, so you know, they wanted us on their tour. So I'm on the bus partying with Tretch, and we're drinking 40s, which I didn't really drink beers like that at that point. You know, I did drink 40s, but not like they do, right? And so we're sitting back there, and, you know, we popped one off, and I'm on the second one, like halfway through it. And I don't realize how faded I am, because we're just kind of sitting there talking shit, laughing, and then, hey, yo, be real. They need you on stage. You about to go on. And I'm like, oh, okay. I get up and I'm stumbling. I'm fucking loaded now.
Yeah.
And I could feel it. I'm like, oh, fuck. I got to go on stage like this. I did it to myself, you know, malt liquor, no less, right? So fucking we're doing the show and I'm slurring all over the place. And then we do Stoned is the Way of the Walk. And then a couple songs later is Hand on the Pump. Those two songs entry line on my verses, it's the alley cat. Well, I'm an alley cat. They both start, well, it's the alley cat, and one is, well, I'm an alley cat, right? And I confused the song and started fucking saying the verse to Stoned is the Way of the Walk again. We had just played it. We went into Hand on the Pump, and I start singing that song again, and I realize, oh shit, I'm singing the wrong song. And I'm thinking this in my head. And I'm loaded, and I stop, like, and the guys are looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, hey, nah. I don't even know what to say at that moment.
You just make like a joke.
You ain't live enough. Hey, let's do that shit again. And Muggs, he didn't do it. He was like, fuck that. We're going to the next song. So we get to the next song, and I forget the first word to it. And, you know, the thing about losing the first word is, that's the fucking key to the door. If you fucking lose the key to the door, you can't get through the door. Like, if I lose the first word, I lose the whole verse. And someone, if they're paying attention, might open the window for me and say a word that gets me back into the house.
Right.
But if they don't do that, we are locked outside.
That's fucked.
Meaning, like, if I forget that first word, that whole verse is gone, right? And that fucking happened to me right then and there. I was like, I forgot the verse, and now they're looking at me like, what the fuck? They didn't know I was drinking. They, you know,
you were just chilling, and
because I was just chilling. They didn't know where I was. You know, they didn't know I was fucking having like 40s with Tretch on the bus. They just knew that when we came on, I came out of nowhere, and here I am fucking up the songs. So I forget the verse twice. It was horrible. It was fucking horrible. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to drink again before a show because that shit was fucked up. And I was fucking the verses up, and I was forgetting songs and stuff like that. And then about a year and a half passed, and we were in Hawaii again, opening up for Naughty by Nature. Insane in the Brain is out at this point. Because on the first run, it was How I Could Just Kill a Man in the first album. In Hawaii, Naughty by Nature was supposed to headline, meaning play last, and we were supposed to support them, meaning play right before them. And one of them was having a kid, and they wanted to like do the show and get back out to Jersey, so they asked if we could trade so that they could play early enough to get on the flight and go back home.
And you guys
And so we were like,
last.
yeah, for sure. But I had been drinking. You know what I mean? I had been drinking again, and I shouldn't have been. And when I went up there, I wasn't ready. And I fucked up on the same song that I did the very first time. And then I fucked up on Insane in the Brain. Like, I totally lost the whole verse to it. And I was just standing there like I was in the fucking Twilight Zone. You know what I mean? Faded like a motherfucker, you know? Like, couldn't wait to get to the next song. And Muggs punished me. He let the whole song play. You know what I'm saying? He didn't stop it. We went to Send Dog's part. I got to on the third verse. I delivered the third verse, but the first verse was gone. That shit was somewhere in Drunkland. You know what I mean? I could not remember it. So instead of starting it over or going into the next shit, he made me hear that whole fucking blank spot, you know, to teach me a fucking lesson. Like, don't be getting drunk before the shows, fucker. This is going to happen.
That's fun as fuck.
So after that shit, I never like drank like that again. Like, no more beers, most especially no malt liquor. And if I have a drink before a show, it'll probably just be a shot. You know what I mean? Like traditional. Hey, let's go fucking get this bang, you know, and go. And then if we're gonna fucking drink, we drink after. But I can't do it before because I realized that weed doesn't make me forget any of it. It puts me in the zone where I'm like focused on what I'm doing. But the alcohol, if I have too much alcohol, I will forget. So
I mean, it makes sense.
yeah, so I don't. That's why I don't try not to drink too much before shows. Like, you know, very minimal if I do at all.
I have wake up extremely hungover and don't know my passport on my phone, and I have to like go to Apple, delete everything, get a new iCloud temporarily so I can recover in mine. So I know that feeling. Like I wake up like after I fought in Boston a few years ago. We came back and we were drinking in my house, and one night we got like shitfaced, like me and few of my friends. And I wake up the next day, turn my phone on, and I'm just like staring at the thing and just like looking like a fucking dog, just like sideways and shit. And I'm like, I don't know my password. And I'm like, and then I try it for like a few hours until like I run over the tries and then
it comes back.
No, it didn't.
Or
Never,
it
it
never
came back.
And sometimes you could drink so hard that like it's just like wipes out a whole fucking memory of time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's times that you wake up and you don't. They tell you about the night before, and you're like, but everything was okay. I was respectful, right? Okay, good.
Let me tell you, there's two things that I feel are similar to a concussion. Drinking too much when you get the spins and all that and you have to throw up. That's very similar to what happens in a concussion, right? Same thing when you dab too hard. If you fucking take too much concentrates and it's very hot, you could fucking get those same spins that you would get if you were drunk and throw up and feel as if you got a fucking concussion.
Every time I see a heavy dabber with a big rig, I go, I'm good, thank you. I know exactly what I can do. It's either my small Puffco, or if I'm gonna torch my own, I know the temperature, I know how much to put.
Yeah.
Because if a friend of mine give me on a bigger dab rig, on a little higher temperature, I'm gone. You lose me for the day.
Sam, I don't want to do any hot dabs. That's like for specific people that want to get high fast, right? Because the thing about the hot dabs is it gets you there fast.
You go. It's a punch to the face.
It's a punch to the fucking face.
Without looking at it.
Yeah. And so I like the flavor. You know, I don't mind it taking the little bit of time. I'll take the flavor all day. You know what I mean? And it's not as devastating. Because I'll tell you that, you know, like aside from the drinking, right, I will not over dab before a show neither. Because like I did that one time with some of the guys from Weed Maps early on when people were just starting to get into the dab shit. These guys had a crew. Had like 3 guys with all different jars of different concentrates, and they all had their dab rigs and their torches. and before the show, we had a show this night. It was a 420 in Colorado. You know, like they're looking at me like, yeah, he's the weed king. We got to get him high. And so I'm like, all right, I'm the weed king. Let's get high, right? So we fucking take one hot dab, then two hot dabs, then the third hot dab. And on the third hot dab, I was like, I whispered to one of my homies that was right there who knew the weed map guys along with myself. I said, hey, get these guys the fuck out of here right now. I need to fucking chill. You know, and I had to meditate right there. You know, I had to meditate.
Because if not, you go crazy.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It happens sometimes. Like, you go like, and you feel something in your, and you go like, oh, no, I went too far.
Yeah.
For me, it's the same. I need to either tell people to leave me,
Yeah.
or I rather go drive by myself.
Yeah.
Because I can tell myself, I'm okay. I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. You're not gonna be the first one to die of overdose.
Yeah, no, you like hit yourself too hard.
You just
and I did that. You know, I should have stopped on dab 2, but I went for 3, and within minutes, I was like telling my dude like, hey, get them all out.
I need time.
I need time, and I had a show that night. It affected me from that time to the time I did the show. When we were doing the show, I felt like I was behind. I wasn't, but it felt like that. And, you know, like those guys that came to take my head off, you know what I mean? Because, like, my head is a trophy in this stoner world. If you get me high as fuck,
this a win.
that's a win, right?
Yeah, every time I was...
They went home and fell asleep. I went to the venue and did a show.
True.
I cut their fucking heads off with their own shit, man. But I tell you what.
They're dangerous.
It was fucking... Oh my God, I would never do that again, man. Never. I mean, I do dabs. We do dabs at Be Real TV when we do my Dr. Green Thumb show and all that stuff. We dab out, we smoke joints and all that stuff.
That day, when I did your show, I didn't realize it was donuts. Because there's thicker joints, and there's the same look, and those I love them, but those are like, you know, like a little bit of tequila, like a good quality tequila with ice. You sip on it.
Yes.
I didn't realize, and I was just fucking taking hard hits. And there was a point that I put my hand on the curtain, and I just like, because it's fully, like for the people that doesn't know, there's like thick curtains to get the smoke in. Yeah. I was just like melting in the chair, talking. I remember we were talking about health and shit, that the stuff that I do, and I put my hand outside. I was like, in my mind, I was like, if the smoke gets off the car, I'll be better. I think I was like, because I think you guys stopped it at 35 minutes sharp.
30 minutes, yeah.
30 minutes. I remember it was like 28, and I was like, in my mind, please God, finish this. Because I don't want to be the bitch that goes like, hey guys, I need to go. I can't do this anymore. I was just I was so fucking fried. I was like, and then in the way back, I was telling my homie, I'm like, yo, you should drive, dude. Hey. I'm like high as fuck right now.
Hey, that particular, the smoke box interview, man, it started with just 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like,
and the tolerance grew.
Yeah, because we knew, like, okay, we know that people that can't necessarily, you know, deal with a lot of smoke are only going to be able to be in there between 10 and 12 minutes. So we're going to do a quick interview. It'll be like that, right? And so we started that, and we had a guest that came and flipped our whole shit, right? We were like, at the longest point, we were doing 20 minutes. So let's just say we were targeting 15. Sometimes we'd end up doing 20, 25 minutes. So that was our target. Like, okay, we'll stop at 20 so that we're not killing people, right? So that had been our standard for a very long time, because we had been doing it for a couple years. And this guy Kevin Smith, he's a director, he's an actor, he's been in a lot of iconic films and directed some iconic shit. Look him up. He's a very funny guy. So what is it? Jay and Silent Bob? Yeah. He's
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, you got to check out the franchise. Anyway, he's the character known as Silent Bob, but his name is Kevin Smith. I had heard that he wanted to do the smoke box interview, right? So I was like, all right, hell yeah. Does he smoke, like, for real? And someone told us that, oh, well, he's only been smoking for a year. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck, we'll go easy on him then. We'll just smoke our 8mm joints as opposed to our 10mm joints.
Yeah.
We're trying to go easy on him. Not like the kind you smoked, right? You smoked the 10mm with the donut.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, well, it's only a year. We got to go easy on him. So, we're doing the deal, and 15, 20 minutes comes up, like the timer goes off. And I said, hey, man, it's been great having you. I never thought we'd be in the car talking to you, because he's like, a very well-known guy, right? And he goes, that's it? I thought we were really going to smoke.
Oh, wow. He was ready.
And I was like, oh, shit. So I tell Pedro, who is like standing by the car, I said, hey, get to my jar, roll more weed, and just keep feeding us, right? And he had pre-rolls in his pocket. So he's feeding us now while we're waiting on Pedro to roll the joints. And we're like, he caught us off guard, right? And that smoke box ended up being an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
He put one of our guys to sleep in the back, E-Zone. Yeah, I don't know if you remember E-Zone, but he put E-Zone to sleep in the back.
When I did it, was me and you at front, and it was two or two?
Yeah, it's two.
It was two.
Two guys. And E-Zone was probably one of them.
And everybody smoking donuts. That shit was like thick air. It was like clouds on clouds. And I was kind of like, okay, I want to see what happened. But towards the end, I can feel the compression is going like.
Yeah. So, because he did an hour 30, right? Yeah, this guy, Kevin Smith.
Hour and 30 is crazy.
We did an hour 30 because he wanted to. He wanted to keep smoking, and he wanted to keep talking. And that's when he's telling me right there at that moment, that's it. I thought we were going to smoke.
He came ready.
Yeah, he came ready. Look, he's handing me shit. This is like a first. Like them handing it to me in my own shit, because we weren't prepped.
That's
but
wild.
What we later find out is that he's been smoking for like 15 years, that he had only been smoking concentrates for a year.
Oh.
So had we known that, I would have been like, had like big ass bomber 12mm or 10 mils
45 cals.
Yeah, ready for his fucking ass. You know what I mean? And then we wouldn't have been oh, this is it.
Yeah. You were
but
like,
he got me, so
that's sick.
the thing is we went from a 15-minute interview to an hour and a half.
That's the longest one?
So what people would do after that interview, and I don't know why they did this to themselves, but they'd be like, what's the longest interview? And we said, well, Kevin Smith did an hour and a half. All right, let's go. And they would try to get to the hour and a half. So
that's how you get hurt.
Some people got to the hour. Some people had to tap out before the hour. But we started doing the show for an hour, like making it like the mandatory, right? And we were killing people. And we, I think that's why we don't necessarily do the smoke box today, because motherfuckers are afraid to get in thinking we're going to hold them hostage for
I mean, I feel like if you need to go, you can just say like, yo, can we pause this for a second?
There was one guy who did that, which was, what was this, Fat Boy SE, right? He goes, do y'all pause? Do y'all ever take? I'm like, no. Do you need one? He goes, yeah. I'm like, all right, we'll take a pause. I was totally fucking with him. And it took a pause. And I didn't think he'd get back in, because he was going through shit. But to his credit, he took a few deep breaths of the clear air and he jumped back in, and we finished it out. But a lot of people thought we were trying to get him to tap out. I should have put a tap button right there, come to think about it.
Kind of like a pam pam, like hey, one of these sounds like here.
You let us know when you've had enough. Something.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. Put I mean, I'm sure in Amazon there's a red thing you can push.
Yeah, I mean, there's there's these little sound buttons that we have at the studio that one of our audience put us on to, and they're little sound buttons, right? So that you could take them on the back. There's a little button, you press it down, and you record the sound that you want on it. So you could put anything
Oh
on these fucking
wow.
things. So we use them at the table. So now, if we ever do the smoke box again, I'm bringing back a tap out button because people always wondered, like they would hit me like in the middle of the interview. Dame Dash, from Rockefeller Records, Jay-Z's old partner, he was in the smoke box, and we were at about 25 to 30 minutes, and he goes, "All right, so are you gonna make me tap out? Is that what this is all about? Is it y'all motherfuckers make people tap, or was?" I'm like, "No, man, we're about to finish right now, But yeah, it's like if you get high like we do, you could get through it, but it's tough.
It is tough, especially when the smoke gets dense and there's no more room. And those curtains that you guys put
Yeah,
is because the cables go through, but
they're as bad as the windows being
they're-
up.
yeah.
Because we used to do that with the windows rolled up. Oh man, in the summertime even, and there was no AC running. We fucking kept it hot. See, I had the key to how to do it without, having all the difficulties, right? And I developed the technique from doing it
Being
all the
there.
time, right? So, and I told Burner this because he was in one of the ones where someone tapped out. He tapped out. He was sitting in the back. It was the one with Wiz Khalifa, and his two other homies, and Burner was back there. Ricky P, and I forget who the other guy was with us, but Burner was sitting in the middle in the back seat, and it gets smoky in there. Like we're all smoking our own joints, but Wiz got like 4 joints in and he's just puffing like crazy.
Yeah, he's another level too.
So he takes his shirt off because no, he has a jacket and a shirt and something else, right? An undershirt, right? He starts off with the jacket. We're smoking. All the smoke starts to envelop. He takes his jacket off because it's getting a little bit warmer, and then it starts getting thicker. And it gets so thick that you couldn't see the guys in the back seat. So then he takes his shirt off, and then he's got his undershirt. Then it gets so thick that you could barely see him and I. He takes his whole shit off because it got hot in there. But Burner, it got so hot that he goes, "Hey, man, you know what? I hate to say it, but I got to fucking tap out right here because this shit is crazy." Because the smoke was just a
It
lot.
gets thick. Like I got a photo like my homie took from the outside. You couldn't
There
see
you go.
much.
Yeah, that was just as bad right there. We got it fucking smoked
No,
out.
it was smoke as fuck. Like there was a time that I was like, "Fuck, what I'm doing?" Like I was getting like extremely high.
See, my technique is this: is I try not to cough. Right, I'll take a smooth hit in, out. I don't hold it in so long, because to me, an old man told me this. He was a 60-year-old man, and I was probably 18. And we were smoking around this old man, and we're doing that thing where you're like holding it in and then coughing, blowing it out. You know, that old school shit you used to see
At the
in movies.
beginning, you do it. Oh, we all did
We
it at
all
the
do.
beginning. You go
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, there's no difference
Yeah.
on that shit.
Yeah, and the old man told me, he goes, "Fuck you doing? Look, if you're going to smoke some weed, you don't got to do all that crazy shit to get high. Just hit it, inhale, let it go. You don't got to hold it in and do all that crazy shit you young guys do." That's what the 60-year-old dude told me, right? So I'm like, all right, let me just try this, because you know how we are when we're young. We think we know everything. It's the one time I listened to an old guy, right? And I gotta say, he was right. I didn't get no less high from just taking the hit and letting it out right
getting high,
directly,
yeah.
because it got into my system and it came right the fuck out. When I'm holding it in, what I'm doing is letting all that smoke and the shit that's in the smoke build up in my lungs if I keep it there
It's
too
just
long.
damage, yeah.
Yeah, and you're damaging your lungs holding it in like that. So for me, it's like that shit. What do they call it? The circular breathing. You're fucking taking it in, right out. And I've saved my lungs and everything else from all the shit I used to smoke with the blunts and all that stuff with that technique. Just in, out.
The way the normal breathing is, because I had homies before, like they would take a bong rip, like a dense one,
Yeah.
and they would hold it for like until they were like just like nose and mouth. And I was like, yo, chill.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, for me,
Like that's
in
like
the smoke box, it's important that you don't hold it in.
that
You
makes
got to
sense.
fucking in, out, because the minute you cough, done deal.
That much.
And I try to tell everybody this, and Pedro knows, if you get the little cough, don't cough heavy, because it's gonna start, and you ain't gonna be able to stop. Box is over, because you won't recover from that. I seen it happen to Send Dog, and he's a pro. Happened to him, and he tried to drink a beer to like get the scratch away, and it made it worse. I had to scrap that episode.
If you drink after you cough,
Done.
it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, if you got tea, like a hot tea or warm water, you might survive. But anything cold or carbonated, fucked.
That much.
And so, yeah, Exhibit, it happened to Exhibit. He got the small cough because he took a big ass hit and he held it in. He just, you know, and that little bit, that's the end right there, you know. So, what I do is I inhale, exhale, and I stay perfectly still. You won't see me moving around or
That's what gets the
breathing
heart rate
too
up.
heavy. Just keep breathing the same way and staying very still. And this is the only thing that moves. The fucking hand.
You should write a book on hotboxing.
It's a technique that works. I like, because when Burner had been in the boxes after that, he's like, "How do you do it?" And I told him the technique. Every time he was in the box after that, he did that, and it was easier for him. He said, "I didn't move around so much, and I just kept breathing, and I didn't hold my shit in." Because again,
staying still is the key too.
the cough is the hardest thing to avoid, and most especially when, you know, let's say you're not hitting your joint and you're fucking taking in a breath from the smoke in there, and that makes you cough. That's the hard part. Like, I would hear motherfuckers next to me doing like trying to hold it together, you know, and that's when I realized I was torturing people, man. I was like, realistically, the last season of the smoke box, I was gonna say, you know, I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm just gonna fucking call it as where it stands right now, because, you know, we're torturing people, and some are just afraid to get into it now. Before, they weren't afraid to get into it. They would go test themselves, and, you know, some
Yeah,
made
but
it.
once you feel a solid panic attack, which we all go through one here and there, but when you go through a good one, it makes you you remember that you're like, holy shit.
I ain't going back there again. Look, we had Big Boy from
Producer?
no, not from Outkast. The big boy here that does radio. He's with iHeart. Yeah, Big Boy's Neighborhood and all that. He's one of my homies for the longest time. But he never smoked. But he wanted to get in the smoke box and experience what it was like to be in there.
So
And
he didn't smoke, everybody smoked.
we all smoked, and in E-Zone, whenever he's in the back seat, he's blowing smoke at whoever's sitting in the front. He's not blowing it at me because he knows I'm smoking the whole time, but he's always blowing it at the guest so that they're enveloped. You know what I mean? And you know, so we gave Big Boy the experience, and you know, for some people that think that, you know, contact highs are not real.
It's real.
Big Boy will tell you something different, because he was affected for like 3 days. He was filming each day on, you know, like the effect that it was having on him, and he called me back the third day. Goes, "Man, I fucking hate you. I'll never go back to your fucking place again." I'm like, "I'm sorry, man."
That's crazy, because I have two friends that they don't smoke, and one of my cars, the windows are damaged, so only I can go up and down. All the remotes, they don't work. So we started smoking, and he's like, "Dude, for real, I would jump out of the car." Like, he was that scared of, like, and I was like, "Let me build you up a little bit." He was like, "Bro, I jump. I rather jump than get a panic attack." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wow, it really hurts you like that."
Yeah, it's traumatizing.
It is because I took like few THC cookies one time by accident.
Oh yeah.
It was during COVID, and my manager dropped me in the hotel like snacks, And he's like, yo, I throw you some CBD cookies. Try them. They actually taste good. It's like candy. And I'm like, I didn't read, and he didn't read either. They
Yeah.
were each cookie was 20 milligrams, which is a lot. It's a lot for me.
Yeah.
So I eat a cookie, and I'm like, fuck, they taste actually good. I text him, I'm like, bro, they tasty. And it's quarantine, so
And you had another one.
no, I have like 4.
Oh, shh.
So this is during quarantine. I was doing commentary for the UFC the next day. This is on a Friday. But you cannot leave your room. You just wake up the next day and go to the arena and do your work.
Yeah.
So I'm by myself. There's no contact with the outside world. There's no homies around. There's no friends because it's quarantine. No one can see no one. And then I eat the last one, and then I start reading the package. I'm like, fuck, this is good. I'm going to see how much sugar and bullshit this have to regret what I eat. So I'm like, okay, oh, actually, organic, blah, 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 good ingredients. And I go, THC. I went, no. I rushed to the restroom, fingers to my mouth like a bulimic person. I started puking. And I did puke all the cookies. But the
THC was,
ingredient was in my liver already.
It was already there. Oh,
So I
man.
sit on the bed and I literally put hands on my knees and just go, I'm fucked. Because the last time that I took a 10 milligram, I used to do well with edibles. They fucked me up. The last time, which it was a year ago, a friend gave me a 10 milligram. I was like, this is not good for me.
Because your system wasn't ready for it, yeah.
So I was expecting the boom boom. So I was just like waiting. And then I just feel how my chest just started doing this. Closing. It was like a horror movie. You when you see in the bad like the demon or the spirit in the corner and you're like, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna die. I started calling friends and be like, bro, I'm so fucked. Just talk to me, take me through it. And everybody was like, bro, you're fine. And I was like, I know I'm fine, but what I'm feeling is real. And I was touching my chest and it was like, it was going so fast that I can feel it was getting warm. And I'm like,
it's, you know what? That's like a panic attack.
It's a panic attack.
It's a panic attack. And it's because of the way that shit hits when you don't have the tolerance for it. Because I know I got hit like that too. Like with edibles, we would do gel caps, right? We would put SHO or Rick Simpson oil into the gel caps, and we take them like that instead of eating them as an edible with like food or you know, like a sweet edible, like cookies or brownies.
Like, back in the day, a friend of mine have these like green pills. They were 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
100 each pill, but it was like a thick concentrate. So back then, because I was younger and I didn't know what a panic attack is, take them, I used to be like melt, like literally just like dead with my eyes open. And I was like, okay, once in a while it's like getting drunk.
Yeah.
And then one day, like 5 years later, I went, oh, what is this? And you get to learn that happens sometimes. And you go, wow. But that make me feel a lot more empathy for people that actually go through like mental health.
Yeah.
Because think about it, you know that happened because you smoke weed. And it only happens if you smoke. But there's people out there that they can be like normal and they go, oh. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
If that's what you feel in the normal, fuck, I want to be way nicer to you now.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucked up.
Yeah. Shit is crazy. A panic attack it'll change your whole thing because you think you're fucking having a heart attack.
You see guys turning green and puking like.
Yep. Get pasty and all that shit. Yeah. I took like 1,000 milligrams one time and I thought I was ready for it. I was not ready.
1,000 is heavy.
Yeah, it was very heavy. And yeah, like I did it one other time and it was almost like the same effect. Like it was strong. You know, like to be able to do 1,000 milligrams in one shot.
That's a lot.
It takes a minute to get toleration for that. You know what I mean? And I was close, but I was like, you know what? This shit is way too heavy, and I don't need to be taking 1,000 milligrams of this shit.
That is a lot.
Yeah, it put me in a different place. But I definitely had the panic attack on the first one. And then I knew how to deal with it on the second one. But it was that first one that was like, oh, shit. I'm feeling crazy.
It's accepting it. Like if I take a fat dab and I'm like, ooh, that one hit me. You just gotta be like,
You got to embrace it.
you gotta be like, fuck it. What's gonna happen?
That's the thing about all of it, right? Is that if you do it and you feel it, instead of panicking and letting it get to you, you just got to embrace it, enjoy the ride, or go to sleep. And you're going to have a great sleep. You might wake up high as fuck, which that happens for sure. But at least,
You're gone.
you'll sleep well and you'll be gone, and it ain't going to fuck you up so bad. I remember when I did that 1,000 milligrams, I took it like at, I'm going to say 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, which was a bad mistake. I should have took it more like at 6 or 7.
Like early.
Yeah, because I was, I went to sleep thinking, oh, well, I feel it a little bit, but.
And you wake up dizzy. You can even walk.
So it woke me up at 3:30 in the morning. I was like, oh, shit. I felt it. It woke me up like somebody coming and shaking me out of fucking bed. Like, I was, oh, fuck, I'm high. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go take a piss. And as I'm going to take the piss to the bathroom, I'm walking, and I am like a fucking zombie. Like, I could totally feel how high I was. It wasn't just waking up like groggy. It was like, oh, fuck.
No, you can't walk.
Yeah.
And that happened to me with 100, which is a
Yeah.
lot less.
Yeah.
I took it at nighttime. I was like, okay, I won't feel it. I was like putting my hands on the sides, and I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I had to fucking use the wall as a guardrail too. The next morning I woke up, I was high as fuck, and I didn't smoke until the start of the Green Thumb show, which is at 2 p.m. Normally I'm smoking like, right after my workout before I'm going to the fucking office, like maybe in between 10 and 11. That's when my first smoke is. I don't necessarily smoke when I work out. I used to, but I don't do that shit anymore. But that's usually the time. And I do that without fail. That day, I was like, fuck, I ain't smoking shit until I need to.
Like, you
I
have
don't need
enough.
to, right? Yeah, I was like tapped out. I was like, no. I didn't even bother. I had shit rolled and everything. And normally I would just instinctively fucking grab it and smoke it. But I was like, oh, hell no. That's the
what
first
is
time.
When you have it still in the system, you just like, you're good. You're like, I don't need no more.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You could definitely party too hard on some weed if, you go past what your limits are.
You have that's one thing you have to know and understand. You have to know what's enough for you.
Yeah. It's like training. You know when you're pushing your body too hard and you need to stop.
Because I know people that they can fucking do 1,000 milligrams edibles and do 20 dabs, and they're like, it doesn't hit me anymore.
Yeah.
But you see other people take a fucking one hit and goes like to the hospital.
Yeah, having the panic attack.
You have to know what's good for you and what's not, because otherwise you're gonna fucking be sad.
I'll say this to the guys out there that hang out with the women that do the dabs. Don't try to keep up with them, because they will fuck you up. Dabs, women. A lot of women take way more dabs than dudes do. It's almost like back in the day when, dudes used to fall in with a chick, hey, do you want to do some coke? And you're like, oh, okay, right? It's the same shit with the dabs. The chick
They will outwork you.
You want to do some dabs? And then, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'll out dab you, girl. And then you're the fucking one asleep and she's laughing at you and shit. You know what I'm saying? Outwork you. Outwork you like a motherfucker.
We'll leave it at there with that advice. Don't try to outwork the woman. You're gonna lose, boys. So if your girl goes harder than you, just
accept it.
Embrace it.
Yeah, and hope that she's the one buying the dabs. Cause
yeah,
if you're the one buying the dabs, it gets expensive.
You're gonna get broke. Oh, my brother. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for having me, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
It's all love always.
Don't try, boys. Remember,